My goodness, it's been a long time. But we're back here on Baron Banter. Finally, the Banters, the Bantees, the Barons have returned to the web.
Feels good to be back,
It
Tyler.
feels very good to be back, Brandon. Welcome back into Baron Banter, the first time in a few weeks that we've actually been able to do this show. We've had some other things to take care of. I don't think I've had a day off in 3 weeks. I've worked effectively every day for the last 3 weeks. So we haven't really had any time to do this, but we are back. We are live and kicking. Tyler Zulli alongside my brother and partner in crime, Brandon Zulli. We've got a lot to get to today to make up for lost time. Let's get started right away. Brandon, why don't you kick things off?
All right, so we're going to start with our little segment, News of the Week.
All right. I bet you Trump dominates the headlines.
Absolutely right, Tyler.
Imagine that, right?
It has almost all either been about hurricanes or the earthquake. First of all, we'd like to say heart goes out to all the victims of Hurricane Irma and the three others that happened.
Maria's coming around, Katia. What was the first one? Jose,
I think, yeah. And then the seven on the Richter scale earthquake in Mexico.
And then the wildfires out in California and Washington.
And we're still dealing with that damn banana shortage.
Yeah, that'll never recover.
But
the Airbender, the Avatar is coming.
The what?
The Avatar is coming.
The Avatar.
Yeah, the four leaders of the nations split the country in half. Water and wind were like, yo, we got the eastern part of the country. We'll take care of that one. And then fire and ground were like, all right, we'll take care of the western part of the country and burn everything to the ground. And so the Airbender needs to come. The Avatar needs to come to fix everything.
Hopefully he will. But, as I said, North Korea, Trump, and the hurricanes all dominated the news. But I was able to find a few that were not related to those. We'll get into Trump a little bit, but I'd like to start the segment with, this is from Fox News, one of our first Fox News.
Oh, dear God, here we go.
A first grader was sent to the principal's office for misgendering a fellow student.
So explain this one to me.
So, a first grader at a California charter school was sent to the principal's office this week after she accidentally misgendered a classmate in what's being called a pronoun mishap. Basically what happened was they were on the playground. The young boy turning into girl was across the playground, and she called out his given name, his birth name. And apparently he went and ran and told the teacher that the little girl called him his birth name instead of the name he now wants to be called. And she was sent to the principal's office.
So little Timmy is turning into little Tammy.
Yes.
And
little Cindy.
Little Susie over here calls out and goes, Timmy, Timmy, Timmy. And he goes, that's not my name, and ran to the principal.
Basically,
because he's transitioning.
Yes, apparently. And apparently, the school had also had a mandatory transgender lesson that they did not inform the parents about. And to their credit, the school did not need to inform the parents about it by the laws of the state.
Okay.
It says the incident occurred at Rockwell Academy, a school roiled by controversy after a kindergarten teacher led an in-class discussion on transgenderism that included a gender reveal for a little boy who was transitioning to a little girl for kindergartners.
Listen, I have no problem with the class being taught.
No.
Because at this point, in 2017, we live in a world where this is an acceptable or trying to become an acceptable form of lifestyle. And if you want to teach the kids young that this is normal, that's fine. You know, you're raising a better generation than us.
Yes.
You're raising a more tolerant generation than us. And we're a more tolerant generation than our parents, and our parents are a more tolerant generation than our grandparents.
Let's just hope we don't go back that far.
Well, and that's, at least on the surface, we should be. So what you're basically telling me here is that these kids are being taught at a young age that sometimes people who are born a certain sex, or certain gender, I should say, don't feel comfortable, and they'd rather be the other gender.
Which is fine.
Okay, sure, whatever. And again, remember, like I've said, I don't quite understand it, but I'm not going to defile you and derail you from living out your potential and being happy. Because at the end of the day, if I'm standing in your way of being happy, I'm a terrible person.
You're a dick.
But,
however, I don't think this little girl should have been anywhere near the principal's office.
She should not have been reprimanded for this.
I think what should have happened, little Tammy, I guess we'll call him.
Well, that's just what we're calling.
Little Tammy ran up, said, "This little Susie called me Little Timmy." The teacher should have gone, "Well, little Tammy, get used to it."
Well, that's the thing. These children, while they are being taught about transgender and acceptance,
They're still children.
they're still kids.
They're kindergartners.
And when you have a name tag on your desk every day that says Timmy, and
For
now
a year.
for all of preschool, going into kindergarten, the only thing in the mind of a linear 6-year-old is Timmy.
Yeah.
Because that's all 6-year-olds are linear thinkers.
They don't...
See, want, do.
Pretty much.
See, understand, react.
There's no way this girl could have expected this or tried to correct herself, because she probably didn't even know what to do, what right to do in the circumstance.
She probably didn't even realize she did anything wrong.
Exactly.
Because like we said, when this kid was born and given the name Timothy, and he called Timmy by his friends because they're 6 and everybody's an a Y at the end of their name when you're 6, you have to come to expect it. This little kid ran in crying because he transitioning to she was called the he pronoun. Is he she? Or is he still he?
It says he was transitioning, but nothing more.
So effectively, he is still he.
Yes.
He is still Timmy.
Yes. I don't...
So what did this little girl do wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing.
And she got reprimanded for it.
Right.
So, little Susie, we feel you. We're out here.
Let's move on.
So, this next one, I have not read anything about this, and neither has Tyler. I just thought the title was amazing. Apparently, there is a place that has banned the term grilled cheese and cocktail.
As 2 separate entities or as one together?
I believe as one together. So the article reads, from grilled cheese to cocktails, drag queens, and leggings, the French language watchdog in the Canadian province of Quebec has relaxed its guidelines around some common... I cannot read that word. Right there. Anglicisms?
Some French word, I think. I can't read it from here. It looks French to me, but... just keep moving on. Regardless.
It's the Canadian province that made international headlines for Pastagate over the use of the word pasta on an Italian restaurant's menu in Montreal. I gotta look up what that was later.
But yeah, we'll figure that one out later. Just keep moving.
So it comes as no surprise that new guidelines from Quebec's French language watchdog on some common, long-standing anglicisms have sparked debate. The use of a handful of English words whose Francophone?
I would assume they're French equivalents.
Yeah. Equivalents have never been adopted by Quebecers are now considered acceptable.
That's what they're called in Quebec? Quebecers?
Quebecers.
They're not Quebecian?
BBC, you gotta get
Quebectites?
They say Quebecers.
Whatever.
Are now considered acceptable infringements on French in the province. First of all, I would like to side note here. BBC has got to start getting good writers.
BBC has amazing headline writers and terrible journalists.
Because that was all one sentence.
They don't write well.
No break.
They are not articulate.
No.
That's speaking well, but you get my point.
Grilled cheese is as okay as sandwich à fromage fondant. Cocktail instead of cocktail gets a pass. Baby boom can be used instead of baby boom. God damn, France.
So what are they getting at here?
I don't know. And softball is fine in place of ballet monnaie. A handful of words from language other than English. They go through all these.
So is it,
I think they clickbaited us.
Is it generalizing words that in English or in other languages don't sound a specific gender, but when they're in French, they do. Is that what they're getting at here?
I guess. I think we just got clickbaited.
I think we got clickbaited. Next.
Damn it.
Probably, this is, while I enjoy doing this for the first time and really getting a shock factor, sometimes you're going to get something along those lines.
Clickbait.
It's clickbait.
Now this one I did look up on. A child's math lesson video is outraging India. So, there's this video out there where it's a 3-year-old being taught math at home. And there's a woman teaching her. It's either her mother, aunt, or some kind of relative. And at one point, frustration takes over, and the little girl says her head is aching. Put under more pressure, she's angry and continues to sob as she repeats the numbers that the lady is trying to teach her. The video ends with her getting slapped across the face. Now, I don't know where this video comes from. I don't know if it's a joke. But I want to know, because pretty much I read more on it. It kind of ends there. I want to know how it's starting to outrage Indian people. I think it's because the lady in the video is wearing some type of burqa, because it says that the woman is covering her face. I apologize for that. But should they be getting outraged for that? Or should it just be taken with a grain of salt?
What's the point of the video? And what is the outrage for?
That is a great question.
Because
it doesn't really say.
To me, this woman is trying to teach this little girl. The girl is clearly not having any of it. And the woman gets frustrated and slaps her across the face.
Yes. And
on the surface, if you're going to say outrage, the first thing I think of is this is some kind of child abuse here. But at the same time, you have to look at it and say, well, is this a teaching moment, or is this just this woman being abusive? The slap across the face is clearly over the line, depending on what culture it's in.
And it's obviously her relative.
Right.
Like either a mother or aunt or something. Does she has the right to slap her across the face? Possibly. I mean, it's discipline in some countries,
Have you seen the video?
I have not, and I cannot seem to find it right now.
No, we're really shooting for the stars on this one.
I know. Like I said, I'm just, News of the Week is all just headlines, basically. Now, this one, we're going over into Trump, and Tyler and me discussed this early on today. The title of this article, again, from the BBC. Well done on your titles, my friend. Where is Namibia? President Trump invents an African country. Now,
Namibia, it's across the street from Narnia. Right after you get to Hyrule.
Past Gotham and a left at Hogwarts.
Right, exactly. If you don't know where Namibia, I mean, come on now. It's the stuff of legend.
Now, most likely, President Trump was trying to say, what was it, Namibia?
Namibia.
Namibia,
however depending on how you pronounce it.
And he just had a slip of the tongue and refused to correct it because
he's the greatest.
Because he's Trump, and
that's what we've come to expect
that at this point. But what's great about this one is that people online have taken Namibia to new heights. One of them on a Twitter is Namibia, noun. Country in global southern created in 2017 due to the frequency of Namibians having sexual relations with Zambians and Gambians. And I think it's great that do you think that the country is now taking 90% of what Donald Trump is saying as a joke?
Well, and that's exactly what they're doing at this point. There are, of course, certain people that believe everything he does is
for the greatness of this country.
It's clandestine. It's cut in stone. He has infallibility to certain people in this country. Then you have people on the other side who just think he's a complete joke and he's not even a human being.
Yes.
Then there's most of us in the middle who truly believe that this man is likely unfit to run a country, is a complete caricature of himself at this point, and has taken this position and dumbed it down to a laughing place. And at this point, he's not going to refute things that he says. We know that. We're not going to be able to change it. Most people need to understand that.
But is it good that we're starting to take him as a joke? Because what if he said something, we take it as a joke,
and he implements it?
And he implements it, and then it's something horrible.
You mean like his healthcare bill?
Or his gender ban on the military.
Or his healthcare bill?
Or the wall.
Or his healthcare bill.
Yes, all of them. All of those things.
It's so disastrous how bad that healthcare bill is. I don't even want to talk about it today.
No.
I don't want to get into it.
We will get to it.
I don't want to be
eventually,
anywhere part of it. I don't want it in this segment other than we made jokes about it. I don't want it written on my Twitter. I don't want it in my mind, and I'm thinking about it right now, and it's causing me angst. I don't want it in your mind because there's even the slightest percentage that I can read your mind. I don't want it in your mind, but let's be honest, your mind is the dancing monkey, but
I prefer to think of it as...
That's true. I don't want it on my TV. I don't want it on my scripts.
I
don't
not
want it
like
on my
green eggs and ham.
Yeah, I will not read it on a train. I will not read it in the rain. I will not think about it in my room. I will not think about it on the moon. I know that didn't rhyme, but you're an idiot, Donald Trump.
Alright, actually to finish up this little article, 2 more jokes that somebody has made that I just saw. According to researchers, Namib's #1 export is kafefe.
Kafefe.
And footage of Prince of Namibia leaving the UN, and it's a gif of Eddie Murphy from Coming to America stopping the taxi.
That's fantastic.
Now, that's also I duplicated the misgender first grader thing.
Now this one kind of has a tie-in to President Trump.
Yes, it does. Well, it kind of doesn't.
It indirectly does.
Once again, from our hated enemy at Fox News, because our good friend at BBC would not take this. Apparently, the title reads, Superman defends illegals against angry American. First of all,
what now?
The title is Superman defends illegals against angry American.
I heard that part.
This is from our hated enemy of Fox News, my friend.
So what you're saying is, what we're getting to here is that Superman, in some way, shape, or form, according to Fox News, is an illegal immigrant, appreciatist. Is that a word? I don't think so.
I don't think that's
apologist, I guess I could use too. Supporter.
Sympathizer.
Supporter.
Now, this is not a very long article, so I'll read the whole thing. It's maybe like a paragraph.
Brendan, it's not a long article for a specific reason.
Because
Fox News readers only have an attention span of a walnut. Anything past 6 sentences they can't get in their mind.
And it has to be a very selective word choice for those sentences.
God.
It is great. That's the 3 words that they know. However, the Man of Steel has now become a propaganda tool for the defenders of illegal aliens. In the most recent issue of Action Comics, Superman comes to the rescue of a group of illegal aliens under attack from a white guy wearing an American flag bandana and waving around a machine gun. Now, I'd like to say that I would hope most people seeing a random guy waving around a machine gun threatening minorities would hopefully step in at one point and say, hey,
maybe let's not do that.
You're being a dick. Stop being a dick.
And Superman is a defender of the people, right?
Of all people.
It doesn't say the defender of of legal Americans.
No, he's
the defender of all people.
He's the defender of the freaking planet.
He is Superman for a reason. If
not
he was
Superman,
he's not Captain America.
Leave that for the What If comics when Superman landed in Russia. And yes, that actually happened.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. That's not a real thing.
The man is reportedly infuriated because the illegal aliens took his job. Superman swoops in and blocks the bullets meant for the illegals. And once again, I must say I'm quoting this entire thing verbatim. None of this is my words. Stop this, Superman says. Why, the American man replied. They ruined me and stole from me. Instead of rounding up the illegals and flying them back to where they came from, the Man of Steel snatches the white guy and with a menacing look snarls, "The only person responsible for the blackness smothering your soul is you."
Dun, dun, dun.
That is heavy, Superman.
Well, let me ask you this. Regardless of your stance
On
immigration, the Dreamers, whatever it comes down to be.
Yeah.
Basic moral human rights would say,
These people...
stop shooting people. Put your gun away and stop it.
Why do you want to shoot these people? Because they're not from America.
Because they took my jab.
Well, what if you went over somewhere and found a great job? Well, then I'm just a smart man who found a great deal. What if someone wanted to shoot you? They can't do that. I'm white.
That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah. Now, this is the end of the article. Remember when Superman stood for truth, justice, and the American way? Pause. I would like to say that truth is that the guy is about to shoot a bunch of innocent people. Justice is stopping the guy who's about to shoot the innocent people.
And the American way is not shooting innocent people.
Yeah!
It really boils down to one thing in particular. Don't shoot people!
Then again, Clark Kent is technically an illegal alien, a native of Krypton. Bravo for knowing that he's from Krypton, by the way. I'd like to say good on you. And second of all, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Are people this dumb?
Yes.
That they cannot wrap their heads around the fact that Superman was saving a human being's life and not trying to keep illegal immigrants in this country. I have a very staunch opinion on illegal immigration.
You do indeed.
But if there was somebody that was an illegal immigrant standing in front of me and their life was in peril, my first thought would be to get them help.
Yes. I reckon, now again, this continuing the article, I reckon it's only a matter of time before DC Comics unleashes other superheroes in its corporate quest to defend the alien invaders. So don't be surprised to see the Flash rushing Mexicans across the border or Wonder Woman using her lasso to round up Texas ranchers trying to defend their property. It's unfortunate that DC Comics is turning its stable of iconic heroes into political pawns, hell-bent on indoctrinating our kids.
Did you,
I swallowed a frog.
You hitting puberty today?
Yeah, I swallowed a frog by mistake.
Second puberty for Brandon at 20
I
years old?
apologize. I have something caught in my throat and it's scratching it up.
Right.
I do. But I did not expect to see this kind of hate on Fox News. They're more like low-key hate. Like they'll put passing comments like a little bit over here, a little bit over there. I expected to see this on like a Breitbart article. Like straight up neo-Nazi websites.
Well, one time I was reading a Superman comic book I got from Dollar Store, and yeah, Mr. Trump would not have liked this one because Superman saved the illegal immigrant and not the white man.
I mean, if you start rounding up the white people and arresting them, well then what are we gonna have in this country? People?
You mean a country that welcomes you as long as you work hard and
earn
get
your keep?
Legal documentation?
Here's what I love when people try and argue that. These immigrants need to get out. This is not their country. This is America. This is our country. You do know that America already had America, quotation marks, had a native inhabitants that immigrants pushed out and basically killed off. And that this country was pretty much founded and made all by immigrants.
Correct.
What kind of argument do people have when they hear that?
The disparaging difference between legal and illegal immigrants. That's the argument. And that's my argument.
Most of the time I hear that it's people who hate all immigrants. Not illegal or legal. all immigrants.
There's a complete separation.
Oh, I know that.
At least there should be.
But I'm talking about people who usually say that I hear don't make the difference. They just see it as...
there is no difference in their minds because, again, like the 6-year-old who was calling Timmy Tammy and Tammy Timmy, they are linear thinkers. You don't look like me, so you can't be like me. I'm sorry. Where are you getting this entitlement from?
Sir, I have a college education. I have a doctorate in
nuclear physics.
Nuclear physics. Well, I've been here for 39 generations, and my happy brother said that I ain't supposed to like you.
My happy brother.
Is that a little too far?
Yeah. The line was here. We were flirting right underneath it. You made that comment, and now we're right over top of it. And we're no better than anybody else now.
Well, I was going to hell originally anyway, so...
Well, you might as well go big or go home at this point.
Why not?
You've got nothing else to lose.
So, I mean, in all honesty, people just need to be a little more tolerable. Yeah, they're illegal immigrants. First of all, it's Superman. It's a comic book. And it was the right thing to do. Like you said, if you see someone coming across that border, and not like Border Patrol or nothing like that, like some douchebag redneck is going to blow their head off, I'm going to help them. I'm going to send them back over. But I'm going to help them.
I'm not going to let another human being die.
No.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
I will help protect a human life as much as I can.
All right, let's hit the next one.
There is no more next
There's no more next ones?
Other ones were more or less clickbaity, as I thought. More clickbaity than I thought.
I got called a clickbait writer the other day.
You did?
I also, for the first time in my career, was told I am the, quote, worst writer in the world.
By who?
By many, many people. I was told I was a hypocrite. I was told I'm not really from Philly. And I was told you are a terrible writer.
Were there worse things than that?
No, well, here's the premise.
Did you get death threatened?
I never got death threatened, no. But here's the premise. I wrote an article about Chase Utley coming back and playing for the Dodgers, coming back into Philly and playing the Phillies.
Yes.
So, two and a half years ago, Chase Utley was traded from the Phillies to the Dodgers.
Yes.
In that time frame, Chase Utley has now played 7 games at Citizens Bank Park.
Okay.
He spent his first 9+ seasons in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So, in 2016, the first time he came back, he got a standing ovation for his first at-bat. Mm-hmm. I thought it was well-deserved. It was merited. The guy is a hero in Philadelphia. He helped them win a World Series. He's a great leader, a great ball player, a great humanitarian. Just an all-around... The guy you want to be.
Yes.
He's the guy that girls love and the guy that guys would love to be.
Yes.
So I wrote an article and I said, Chase Utley, or dear Phillies fans, it's time to stop with the standing ovations for Chase Utley. Because when he got one in the first game, I thought it was warranted.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got it again in his second at bat in the first game. Then he hit a home run off the Phillies and Phillies fans cheered for him. Then he hit another home run off the Phillies, and Phillies fans cheered for him. He played another 3 games, then another 2, and now he's up to the 7th game that was played yesterday, and he's gotten a standing ovation every time he's come to the plate. My argument was, stop giving standing ovations to somebody that's no longer on the team.
That's a sound argument.
Here's the thing, and here was my argument. I said, I love Chase Utley. I grew up watching it as a young teenager. I watched Chase Utley win a World Series. He was a hustle guy. I really portrayed my game off of his game because while he was talented, he was never the most talented. But he got by on hustle, practice, determination, grit. He's a Philadelphia guy. He's a real true Philly guy. And I said, I'm never going to take that away from him. But now we're 7 games in to Chase Utley's return to Philadelphia over the span of 2.5 years.
Okay.
I said we got to stop at the standing ovations until he retires. When he comes back as a retired player and the Phillies retire his number 26 because of all he did for Philadelphia. Cheer for him all you want. But right now, you're sending a message of, this guy is a Dodger, and you're cheering for him harder than you're cheering for the Phillies players. And I was told I'm a hypocrite, I'm a clickbait writer, this is the worst article I've ever read, which all of these things make me believe you read the headline and said, I don't agree with you, you're a bad writer. Call me stupid, call me an idiot, call me a clickbait writer. Don't agree with me. Let's have a discussion or even an argument. Let's have an argument. That's fine. Call me a bad writer and you've knocked my characteristics and my ability as a writer. That annoys me.
I can see why it would.
You understand how frustrated I was when somebody said you're the worst writer of all time?
Yes, I do.
Like I said, if you want to say you are wrong, I disagree with you, I think you're stupid, stop trying to create problems that aren't there, okay, let's have a conversation. Or even let's have an argument. I don't care.
I love arguments.
In my line of profession, and somebody tweeted at me, one of the guys that tweeted at me, I have no idea who he was, by the way, tweeted at me and said, this is knee-bending stupidity.
Knee-bending
stupidity. And I tweeted back at him and I said, did you happen to read the article, or did you just read the headline?
What'd he say?
He didn't respond to me, which makes me believe he just read the headline.
Probably. It's honestly what a lot of people do.
I've had people, good friends of mine, say I stepped over the line.
For what?
And here's the thing. I asked them, I said, did you read the article? They said, yeah. I said, well, what do you believe that I stepped over the line for? This, that, or the other thing. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, you know what you did?
You read it.
You read it. And you know what my job as a writer is to do?
To make people read.
Make people read my article. If I said everything was sunshine, daisies, and rainbows, people wouldn't read my article. You'd call me too vanilla. You'd say I was bleh.
You're a snowflake.
Yeah, you only write the good stuff. You don't have an opinion. You don't have anything strong opinion. I gave a strong opinion about something.
Yes, you did.
And I gave an opinion about something that I was pretty opinionated about as A, a Phillies fan, B, a writer, and C, an idolizer of Chase Utley. So I went against a man that I find has good morals on and off the field. I think he's an idol for people. When people say athletes are their idols, I generally say maybe make it somebody more realistic, somebody that does good in the world. But Chase Utley does good in the world. And Chase Utley did good for Philadelphia. Because Chase Utley did good on the field for Philadelphia by bringing them a World Series and by showing a generation of kids right about our age how to play the game the right way, how to hustle and be gritty and determined and practice. And off the field, he does good charity work. He's a big supporter of Philadelphia, despite the fact that he lives 2,697 miles away now in Los Angeles. He still comes back and helps Philadelphia in the children's hospitals and things like that. He's a great man.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never take that away from him. But don't you dare call me a bad writer because you disagree with something I wrote.
It's inconsequential what they think.
They're two separate entities.
Yes.
If you think my writing was poor, my sentence structure was poor, my grammar was poor, okay, tell me. I'll fix it. If you think I'm wrong or you disagree with me, that doesn't make me a bad writer. It makes me somebody that made you think about something and feel a certain way. And if you vividly disagree with me, fine. Or if you adamantly agree with me, great. But either way, I made you form an opinion about something. That's what writing is. That's what writing is about. So don't you dare tell me I'm a bad writer or that you don't think my writing's any good because I wrote an article that you disagreed with. Don't you dare. That is a slap in the face to my ability as a writer. I think we just combined 2 seconds.
I think you just got your rant out, Tyler. Well done. I think you just got a little angry.
Oh, there's not a little angry on this one.
It's a lot angry.
It's a lot angry.
You got anything more to get off your chest now?
No, we're good.
We're good?
Let's send this one to commercial break. Break it down, Brandon. I'm not happy.
Alright. So, On the other side, we'll get to a bit more lighthearted segment. Hopefully we'll raise each other's spirits. We will see you on the other side.
Welcome back into another segment of Baron Banter. I've gotten a drink of water. Brandon's violently shaken my shoulders and told me to calm down. It'll be okay. And I think I'm okay. I've got that off my chest. I'm not angry anymore. Welcome back into this next segment. Tyler Zulli alongside me is my brother Brandon Zulli for the 15th episode of Baron Banter as we edge ever so closely to the Banties.
10 more, correct? You said episode
10
25?
more, episode 25. You know what we really need to start doing is saving the good segments.
Yes.
Because we need a best of show. Because that's what the Banties really are, is the best of.
I will start saving clips and snippets.
That's what I like to see.
Give me any specifics and I will save it.
Okay. And you guys let us know if there's ever been a segment that you want to go back and find that you just thought was a great segment. You thought we did a great job. We hit it on the head. You agreed with us at any point. You want us to go back and rehash it in the 25th episode, please let us know. Put a comment down below. Like and subscribe as well. I'll go through all the plugs real quick before we get to this. You can find us on YouTube, of course, where you're likely listening to us at Easy Motorals. You can find Brandon on Twitter at Easy Motorals as well. You can also find us on Facebook now at Easy Motorals. I've been slowly kind of putting a page together that will give you all the details of what you need to know. You can also, as always, find me on Twitter at Teasel34. We'd be happy to take all your questions, comments, concerns, angry letters,
death threats,
whatever you'd like to bring at us. Brandon and I had a conversation off the record before this episode started, and it stemmed from something I found on Twitter and something I shared with our part-time co-host Chris Matase.
We hope can be joining us soon.
We really hope so, and his girlfriend Marissa. Two good friends of mine that we talk about anything and everything. So I sent them a picture on a group chat that was a picture of a 3-year-old dressed as Pennywise the Clown, and it said, 3-year-old dressed as Pennywise the Clown is adorably terrifying. And somebody retweeted it and quoted and said, look, I'll punch a child too. These hands are rated E for everybody. I thought that was hysterical. So I sent it over to them. Because for those of you that listen to the show and don't know, I have an extremely, probably irrational, but an extreme fear of clowns. I mean, terrified of clowns. I can't look at a clown without wanting to do one of two things.
Run or punch it.
Or throw violent hands. And Chris responded, I saw that yesterday. He said, I can see you punting a child that looks like a clown. I responded, because we have plans to go to Fright Fest at Six Flags. I said, that's my big fear at Fright Fest. I'm going to end up hurting a 15-year-old. Chris goes, little Johnny's first day on the job. First real job he's ever had. He's going to be a clown working the games during Fright Fest. He's so excited. Making a few scares, having a few laughs. Next thing you know, little Johnny's in the ER. Tyler knocked him out from behind because, quote, dem clown's going to die. I said, poor kid only got to work an hour and a half before it happened. He made $11.60 before taxes. Chris said now he has hospital bills because someone close to 10 years older than him waged war with the Fright Fest clowns. I said as the great generational band Body Count once said, talk shit, get shot. And of course, we say this in a joking manner. I'm not going to hurt little kids or actors at Fright Fest, so Six Flags, please let me in. But I have this irrational fear of clowns, and when we go to Fright Fest, which probably is going to be next weekend.
Yes.
When we go to Fright Fest, I'm going to be waiting in line. A clown's going to come up to me behind me or something along those lines, grab my arm, and knee-jerk reaction, I'm going to throw an elbow in their face. And now all of a sudden I have a 15-year-old on the ground crying.
I mean, after that, you knock out one performer and you get lawsuits and everything.
Yeah, quote-unquote banned for life. What does that even mean, for life? Do they just make that number up? Life's not a number, stupid.
Now, as we said, this is all joking. But I actually am interested now. Where did your fear of clowns spawn from?
So, my fear of clowns came two-part. The first one is understandable. The second one is just how my brain functioned at a young age.
Yes.
And we'll kind of sidetrack for a second, and we'll get back to that answer. I can't tell you how much more terrified I was and am still to this day of Tim Curry's Pennywise than I was of Bill Skarsgård's new Pennywise.
Do you think he's creepier?
I think Pennywise from 1987 or 1990 or whenever it came out is significantly creepier. Bill Skarsgård's clown looks like an evil monster.
Yeah.
And it's something that I can get over. Tim Curry's clown is a clown. White paint, red nose, creepy pinstripe, baggy balloony outfit with the stupid looking hat and his big red shoes. That's monstrosity.
Now,
it's a monstrosity. He's terrifying.
See, to me, I think that the new guy's creepier because he plays it more up as a creep factor. Tim Curry, to me, I just see as Tim Curry cracking jokes in a clown makeup.
But the clown makeup is what makes it scary. That's the point of the whole dilemma.
I just see him as Tim Curry, not Pennywise.
Well, that's the difference. I see him as terrifying clown.
And I see the actor.
And you see Tim Curry.
Exactly.
I see Bill Skarsgård's character
I see a creepy
monster.
Deranged person.
I don't see a clown, though.
I don't see monster. I see, like, that could be a serial killer.
Right, it could be a serial killer. It's not a clown. It's too terrifying to be a clown. Clowns are supposed to be, quote-unquote, fun. And they're not fun. They're terrifying. And that's why Pennywise from Tim Curry was terrifying. Because he looked like this, I'm Pennywise the Dancing Clown with my white face and my red nose. No! You're a monster! You're scary. Skarsgård's character is not that scary. Or Skarsgård. I'm probably saying his name wrong the entire time.
Probably. I do it all the time.
Bill whatever. Your new Pennywise is less terrifying than Tim Curry.
Well, that's one way of putting it.
But to get back to your question on hand.
Yes.
The first one was...
I guess this will merge another two topics.
The first one was Tim Curry's It Clown. Because to me, the monstrous character, when Tim Curry goes big, scary teeth and all that stuff,
yeah,
he's less scary.
Yeah.
The deranged clown is less scary than the trying to lure clowns into the sewer clown. Is that rational? Probably not.
No, because I don't know how many times you're going to encounter clowns in the sewer asking you if you'll float.
But what I'm saying is the look itself.
No, yeah, it's probably irrational.
It's terrifying to see a clown.
Yeah.
Big teeth scary clown is not as scary to me.
Well, do you think it wasn't as scary because of how it looked at the time? Because there is a scene in the new It where, obviously, as you said, he's not as scary. But they do the sharp teeth thing.
I'm sure they do.
And I think it's a lot better because in the original, he just puts his head down, comes back up, there's sharp teeth, and he can't fully close his mouth. Now this time, like his jaw unhinges, splits open to the side, and rips a kid's arm off. And I think that's creepier.
I have to disagree. I think the human factor to Tim Curry's Pennywise makes it scarier. Because to me, the scariest aspect of movies is the humane factor. When this could be possible. Now, obviously, there's no clown that's pulling through the sewers and digging up through sinkholes and pulling themselves up.
True.
But the humane aspect, or the human aspect, I should say, of Tim Curry's clown, where he just looks like a person that's just psychotically deranged, is scarier than the monster that the new one has portrayed.
Now,
and your second question, by the way, to answer your second, this one a little more irrational. When I was a kid, what was my favorite show?
Power Rangers?
The Power Rangers. And there was an episode where Trainee's little cousin gets kidnapped by the clown. And that clown haunted my nightmares. It wasn't scary. Look it up, actually. And we'll put a picture up if we can do it. We'll do that in post credits. We'll find that picture. It wasn't terrifyingly scary. It just, as a kid, it freaked me out to no end. Let me see if we can find it on here, and I'll take a look. Yeah!
That one?
That's terrifying!
It's just a dude with a red nose and a wig.
Terrifying.
As you can see...
And he mutates into something worse.
As you can see right now, he mutates into this. I'll put this up now. It's called Nosy the Clown.
Yeah, that's not as bad.
That's not as bad to you. But the original, which I'll put up again now, is just a dude with a big tie and a wig and a big red nose.
Horrifying.
There's not even paint on his face.
Horrifying.
I don't see how that's...
I would attack that thing.
Why?
He and I would scrap. He'd catch these hands, as people like to say. It's horrifying.
I guess your fear is your own.
It's like I said, it's probably irrational.
Like mine.
It's probably irrational, but that's my thought process.
But all in all, when you think about it, obviously there's no monster clown, and you think that's less scary. A clown is just a human in makeup.
That's what makes it scary. Because there is a human behind it.
But a human can be hurt just like you in a number of different ways and can be stopped any way you want.
Right.
A monster that can just take a bullet and eat the gun is terrifying because you don't know how to stop that thing. A human clown, oh, you're a clown. One bullet to the head and they're dropping.
You've got gun just sitting around.
Say you're, I don't know, cop in horror movie and a clown comes up to them. One shot in the head, they're done.
Well, yeah.
But a monster, you shoot them in the head, their head just reforms and then they get eaten. That's scarier to me. Something that can't be stopped. Not a human in makeup and a wig.
Well, I guess we'll agree to disagree on this one. However,
everyone's fears their own.
However, getting back, kind of pulling this thing full circle. I was told by Chris, who went and saw it last week, that I should avoid this movie at all costs. And I can't imagine that it's any worse, for my thinking, than the original.
From your point of thinking, with the whole human side, no. It would be a hell of a lot better. Because from what I've seen, they play up the monster side big.
Right.
And it's more or less just now a monster movie instead of a psychological thing. Because in the original, it had Pennywise playing through like the book, coming out of the sink and the drain hole. And from what I've seen, it basically just transforms into monsters that the kids would find scary.
The kids are afraid of. That's like the whole point.
Wolfman, Frankenstein, some kind of painting, stuff like that. And It's all monster stuff. So to you might not have a problem with this version of the movie because it's more monster than human.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I think this one will be less terrifying to me.
Yes.
To me personally.
Yes.
Maybe not to the masses. Maybe a majority would believe that this one is significantly scarier.
Apparently it's breaking all kinds of box office records.
Well, of course it is. You're really struggling today.
I know. Like, I got something that scratched my throat, and it is doing hell to me.
I'm only quoting this on a personal level. I think personally, the Pennywise from Tim Curry's version is polarizing because it put me in a gripping fear
of clowns.
And I think I could sit through this new one.
You probably could.
I honestly, what I would like to do, because of the fact that I'm an idiot,
yes,
and that's self-proclaimed, I would like to find a way to watch these movies back to back.
I could find a way to do that.
and I want to...
You want to see which is scarier.
Brave through it and see which one scares me more.
I can set that up.
If anybody is interested in a night of good laughs at my expense, we'll watch the It's back to back. I know Chris and Marissa will take me up on that offer.
And I can help set that up, my friend.
All right, well, we'll figure it out. We'll get it started.
Now, I think... even though you think you can probably sit through this, what makes it, like, if you had an irrational fear, like you say you do,
right,
you would not be able to go and sit through these movies. You would run screaming at the thought of them. Like, for me, I would not...
I'm not going to wimp out, though.
I would not physically be able to watch Arachnophobia. Because that would be terrifying to me.
Is that, like, really that blood-boiling to you?
Yes. I would not be able to watch it.
So what's the difference in your and I's fears? That
you fear more of a humane...
I think that I have to almost be around a clown. Like, within a certain space of said clown. To get the full gripping fear of it. Now, you see a spider and freak out.
I see a spider and, well, I've had problems like this before. My imagination and my mind start running, and I'll have nightmares about a giant spider or something, and I won't be able to sleep at night. So I have to avoid spiders at all costs just to sleep. And I think, honestly, like we've been talking, I think me and you on this kind of subject are polar opposites of each other. As you said, you fear the more humane part of Pennywise. I can't stand horrible monsters. We should, we gotta do a test on this, man. Like you said, we gotta set up a couple movies, like your It, and then an Arachnophobia marathon or something.
Right.
To see how far I could get, and see what happens.
Maybe we'll have to do a react to video.
I think we should.
I think we should. I think that's the next step. That's the only logical step.
And if we do that, you all can...
You said doo-doo twice in the show.
Doo-doo. You can laugh at us and make fun of us. And
we'll invite you over.
And I don't know if I'll do that. But you can laugh at us and make fun of us and call us pussies. I want to see in the bottom comments, anyone who's watching this, I want you to put your fears, and I want to see where they came from.
And more specifically, are there any movies like It for me, like Arachnophobia for Brandon, are there any movies that you simply will not watch?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you just simply say, call me what you want, this is a movie that I'm not touching?
I'd like to know.
Let's break it down. We'll get to one other segment on the other side. This has been a pretty fast Baron Banter. We're already almost 50 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
Hope you've enjoyed it so far. One more segment on the other side. Tyler Zulli, Brandon Zulli. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the final segment of Baron Banter for this episode 15 edition. Tyler Zulli alongside Brandon Zulli. Like we mentioned earlier, you can check us out on Twitter at EasyModeEarls. You can also find me on Twitter at TZul34. And finally, you can find us on Facebook at EasyModeEarls as well. And I would mention YouTube, but if you're listening to us now, you've likely found us already.
You're already there.
You're already there. So what you can do,
congratulations.
What you can do, however, while you're here on YouTube is give us a like, give us a subscribe, and listen to all of the great videos that Easy Motorals has to offer. The videos that I'm not necessarily a part of, for the most part, we have Easy Motorals gameplay through. That's more Brandon and Devin's forte, and of course we do this Baron Banter as often as we possibly can, despite the fact that work really demands a high volume of hours anymore.
She is a cruel mistress.
Not fun. Being an adult is not fun. I want to be a kid again. But anyway, I've got a final segment for you because I read this the other day. Or actually yesterday I read this. According to some wackos somewhere in the world is supposed to end on Saturday.
Oh, right. I read that too.
Did you know that? So technically, by the time you listen to this, the world's supposed to end tomorrow.
Yes. What's this? The third or fourth
This
one
is
in our
probably
lifetime.
the fourth time in the last 6 years that the world was, quote-unquote, supposed to end based on some kind of calendar that we no longer use, or some kind of book that nobody reads.
Or some kind of language
that nobody
doesn't
understands. So congratulations, you're an asshole in 3 different aspects. But anyway, my question to you is, Brandon, and we'll finish out the show with this today. Obviously, the likelihood of the world ending on Saturday is slim to none.
0.
But if the world were to conceivably end on Saturday, so let's say you get 11:59 Saturday night, the world implodes.
Okay.
So you have from now until 11:59 Saturday night, which gives you approximately 60, a little less than 60 hours left on this earth.
Okay.
57 hours left on this earth. How are you spending your last 57 hours?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I want to spend time with my family,
Well, and
my friends.
that's really the question. Do you spend time doing the little things? Do you spend time with your family and friends and all that? Or do you go out and do adventurous stuff?
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. So, are we in this scenario? The world is absolutely 100%.
100% ending.
Like, there's no Sunday.
There's no Sunday. 11:59
A lot of people
Eastern
would say
Standard Time.
they would like to break the law or do something like that they never would do if the world wasn't going to end. I don't know. Like you said, I'd like to do some of the little things. Like, I'd like to spend time with my friends and my family and go out and, I don't know, try and do something good for once in my life. You know what I'd honestly end up probably doing? I'd probably end up gorging myself on any kind of sweet treat I could find.
Oh, well, and that's the thing.
That's like the last couple of hours of my last day.
That's the thing. That's really the last couple of hours. Like, for me, if I know the world is going to end at 11:59, I'm going to spend, I have 50-something hours.
Yes.
So I'm going to spend, an X amount of hours with my family.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think that's the last place that I need to be is with my family.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be the last few hours. But leading up to that, maybe the Saturday morning, I'm going to get up and I am going to drink a lot of alcohol. Just a lot of alcohol. And I'm going to see how far I can push this alcohol binge, this bender, and still be sober by the time the world ends.
That's a good little plan.
So that's my Saturday. I'm going to spend the morning with my friends. We'll probably do a kegs and eggs type deal. Get a really expensive keg, because what do we need money for anymore?
Yeah, exactly. I'm spending every cent I ever have.
I'm going to spend every cent that I ever have. And I know it's not going to get me a long way.
No.
But it'll get me enough.
It'll get me what I want for my last 3 days on
I'm
Earth.
going to put a down payment on a Lamborghini. And I'm driving that son of the bitch off the lot and have no interest in doing anything but racing it down 95.
To start off my day, for like the Saturday, I want to buy one of them huge huge cakes. Just eat the whole thing, throw up, go out, steal a car from the car lot that failed me for my driving test. Just like, hey, remember me? Yeah, parallel parking? This is mine now.
This is now mine. I'm taking this.
And I just cruise around town just to finally get to drive myself. Then come back. Probably spend time with my friends like you would in the morning. And Sunday, like I said, I'd want to spend the day.
There is no Sunday.
Oh, right. Saturday night, I want to spend it with my family, like you said.
Let me ask you this question. You mentioned the whole breaking the law and things you've never done before.
Yeah.
Are there any drugs you're experimenting with? Are you doing anything crazy like that?
I wouldn't want to be riled. So I would want to do something to mellow me out. Like the last couple minutes, like Quaaludes or something.
Just sit back and relax?
Just sit in that rocking chair we got upstairs, just like, oh my god, this fabric. Boom.
You're under the impression that the world is going to spontaneously combust, though.
I don't know. Well, they say a planet's going to hit us.
Right, so
that's going to be pretty instantaneous.
Effectively, the whole world is going to die.
in like a split second.
How is a planet going to get out of orbit like that? Is it a planet from another orbit? Has it been spiraling out of control for hundreds of years?
Did 1,000,000 years ago a planet slingshot out of its own orbit and has been on a collision course with Earth, and that the fact that we're going to collide, but we can't see it yet. See, Dad raised a good point, because I posed this question to him, like, what would you do? Would you, would you ever try and, like, kill anyone, like someone that wronged you in the past? And he said, well, you know, I might do a couple of crazy things, but obviously the world isn't going to end, and I'll tell you why. Because if the world was going to end, do you really think the scientific community, say they were paid off even, say all the governments of all the world paid every scientist saying, don't say shit, keep everything running, just go about your business. Mm-hmm. One asshole on his front lawn in, like, California gonna look up at the sky and go, you know, I'm looking through my telescope, and that red rock was not there yesterday.
It just keeps getting closer and closer and closer.
And then the next day going, oh yeah, that's a lot bigger.
We are, we're screwed.
Whoa! Remember to mute that, my friend.
Don't tell me what to do.
But
you're the one that kicks the table like once an episode.
I need it. And
either way, it's because you sit Indian style like that.
And to your original question, I would spend the end of the day with my family. I'd spend the beginning of my day gorging myself on whatever I wanted to eat.
On chocolate cake
and shit like that. And, middle of the day?
I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Middle of the day? Don't know.
I'm going to a Chinese buffet, and I'm pulling the John Panette skit. You be here for an hour.
Why you be
here for an hour? Because I'm hungry and the world's gonna die. Give me more General Tso chicken.
I give him enough MSG kill elephant.
Beef lo mein until I die. And all the Jello that you have. You ever noticed that in the Chinese?
No, I've never been.
Never been to a Chinese buffet.
No.
They always have Jello as dessert.
Just Jello.
Just Jello. Like cherry Jello is dessert.
It's not a dessert. What I ate for breakfast today, that was dessert.
What did you eat for breakfast today?
No, the cake.
Oh, I got you. I understand now.
But, actually, here's a good question. Knowing the Earth is going to end, how much rioting and looting would there be? Do you think people would care enough to do that? Or do you think people would just not give a shit?
I think there would be a little bit, because you're going to get people, like you said, that are going to try something that they've never done. They're going to take advantage of the system because there's going to be no police.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, nobody is going to do their job.
No one's on the job.
Right.
No one's on the clock.
Nobody's on the clock. If we all know the world's going to die. That's different if you and I are the only ones that know the world's going to end.
Actually, there'd probably be one determined scientist. I did it! I cured every known disease! Boom!
Yep, that's it. I found the universal cure for everything. World ends.
Well done. Nice job there, Tom. You do realize that giant red rock is about to implode our planet.
Oh.
I was stuck in the lab for the past 3 months.
I should have.
I didn't know. I was stuck in the lab for the past 3 years. Then you missed something awesome. Let me show you this thing. It's called Breaking Bad.
Let me show you this thing. It's called Donald Trump is our president. No, he's not.
No,
he's not. The Celebrity Apprentice guy? No. No, really. He's
the president.
He's the president.
He's the president. What? That's a great question. What would Donald Trump do on his last day on Earth?
He would catch the boulder. He would catch the big rock coming at us because he's the greatest of all time.
No, but a guy like that, pathological liar, narcissist, has more money than God. What is he doing on his last day on Earth?
Probably trying to not die. Because I bet you there are a lot of people that would go after him.
Yeah.
This is basically the purge for him. And he's the rich people that run away.
Think there's like a rich person rocket? As soon as that meteor breaks the atmosphere, they're like, alright, launch.
I don't want this meteor killing Donald Trump. this rocket will kill Dom. Like, that's but basically what.
Yeah, that's something Dad said too. We're all gonna die. You're just gonna die a little bit sooner than I am.
But here's the thing. If you're one with the inclination of afterlife, thoughts of afterlife,
that's why I don't.
Why would you put a black mark on your record?
That's why I don't want to do anything too crazy.
I'm not a person that believes in the afterlife. I just don't. I'm a person of science.
Okay.
Give me scientific evidence, and I will show you. I will agree with you. But for those that do, why would you go? Especially when your religion tells you that
be a good
person, you'll get into heaven. Be a good person, you'll see Allah. Whatever your religion tells you. Why would you go tarnish that with hours to live if that's what you truly believe in?
Panic.
That's all it is.
The best word I could use for that.
Yeah, that's all it is.
They panic and say, I can do this now. And say there is an afterlife. And they're not thinking of that. Because you say you don't believe in? I kind of do. I believe there's something after this.
Okay.
And that's why on the last day on earth, I'm not doing nothing too crazy. I'm not going to go out and kill someone who's wronged me. I'm not going to go out and steal and loot and pillage. I'm just going to do some simple things that I want to do. Then hope to God it's quick.
Well, you're going to find Brandon kissing up to God on Saturday night, and you'll find me stupid drunk. What do you guys think? What will you be doing in your last few hours of Earth? Let us know with a comment and a like and a subscribe down at the bottom. That was such a shameless plug.
Oh my God, you're a monster.
I'm a terrible human being.
You belong in hell.
If this video gets up and gets us more than 24 hours of views before we all die, we hope that you can enjoy it for what it was worth. Of course, our last segment was more satirical than anything else, but some people may take it as is. But that'll do it for this episode of Baron Banter. Thank you all for tuning in. If it's the first time you've tuned into our show, thank you so much for stumbling upon us. We hope you stick around for more. If you've listened to most or all of the Baron Banter episodes, we thank you so much for your continued support. Until next time, whenever I get another day off for my brother Brandon Zulli, I am Tyler Zulli saying thank you and have a great weekend.